What do you hear? What do you say?
Welcome to Chicago, where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Rock and Big Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF podcast. Yes, sir. This is a special edition World Cup of the TCSF podcast brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your official TCSF shirts now. As always, I am Big Z and I'm here with my new guy. Yeah, my new guy. I got a soccer guy finally on the TCSF podcast. El Borrego, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy El Borrego. Thank you for the big shout out. I'm glad to be on the show. And I'm just glad to share some of my knowledge of soccer and some of my passion that I have, of course, for the sport with you all. And gonna be doing some World Cup stuff with you guys for about a month because that's how long the tournament is. But I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Well, tell us about your soccer knowledge, man. I mean, did you play like as a little kid? Did you play in high school? Did you play in college? What's up with that?
Yeah. So actually, I've been playing soccer for like 18 years. You know, growing up in Pilsen, I remember there was only one thing that I went to, and it was soccer. It was either playing on the streets, you know, playing with my cousins. But yeah, I've been playing soccer for quite a while, you know. And one of my favorite teams, of course, Club America. I don't know if anybody's familiar.
Oh,
but
man, we already started on a bad note, man. Jesus, one team I don't like. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, but yeah, it's something else having to play soccer, you know. And especially, it's a different feeling when you're playing with your cousins, you know, in the streets or stuff like that, you know. Like, I can still remember playing outside of my grandma's house playing soccer. It's like some amazing memories that I made with my cousins right there. But yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Everybody knows that soccer is the number one sport in the world. And if you don't know, now you know. But yeah, I mean, it's soccer, and then right behind it is basketball. So you know what? All you need is a hoop or a soccer ball, and guess what? You in a basketball, you can make a lot with little. That's pretty much what it is. It's a poor man's game, and they're not trying to degrade or anything. It's just literally that's all you need is a soccer ball, 2 garbage cans, boom, let's go. You know, you need a hoop and a basketball and a couple friends, boom, let's go. You don't need much equipment. And that's the biggest thing about soccer, and that's why it's one of the biggest sports in the world. So right now it's being showcased with the World Cup in Qatar. But, you know, it's about education at this point, because there's a lot of people that don't know about soccer or don't know why it gets moved around every 4 years or whatever, you know. So we're going to educate everybody. We're going to bring everybody up to speed on the soccer tournament, because today was day 1 of it. So by the time you hear this, it'll be day 2. But we're going to update you, and we're going to give you some previews on the following games. So if you're new to the show, or it's your first time or long timer, please remember to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the notify button, and give us a review on your listening app of choice. You can find us on Facebook at True Chicago Fans. You can find us on Twitter at True Chi Fans and IG as True Chicago Sports Fans. Don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go over there and click on support, and you can subscribe for as little as 99 cents a month. Throw us your change, man. I know everybody got change. Come on, man. Throw us a little bit of change, man. All right, El Borrego, I need you to get on that donkey and break it down, brother. Go ahead.
Gotcha. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to say I'm really excited for this World Cup. As you know, it started today. We got Ecuador winning, of course, the first game 2-0, which was really a very controversial game. I mean, at least I would say, especially for the first part. You know, that first goal, you know, it was
It was taken back, right? They called it back.
It was taken back. Right.
Why was it taken back?
So it was taken back because it was offside, and the fact that it's like controversial, it's because not many people are like familiar with like the exact like rule that FIFA has, and like the World Cup specifically.
Okay.
And that's why they kind of called it offside.
It
kind of threw a lot of people off.
Is it different at the World Cup rather than league play or house league play? What's the difference?
To be honest, I haven't like really like checked upon it, but I have seen like different like games that this has happened before. Like I think it was a game for Chelsea and Spurs, and they took away Harry Kane's goal because he was offside. So it's once the goalkeeper comes out, like the offside, like it qualifies as like there's two defenders behind, right? And there's the person that scores the goal is only one person, and there's only like it's like a 1v1 basically, and the goalkeeper's like outside, like he went out for the ball, like it's offside there. It's pretty confusing.
It's pretty confusing because from my understanding, offsides is like, if, for example, if I have the soccer ball and I kick it to my forward or striker going ahead, he cannot be ahead of the defensive player when I kick the ball. So that you put that line on a soccer screen, like, hey, this guy was offside by the hair of his chin, and now he's offside and his goal doesn't count. That's my understanding of offsides, and that's probably the most I know about soccer when it comes to offsides. If they're changing the rules in World Cup, I mean, that's really going to fuck up a lot of people who barely understand soccer.
Yeah, so the ruling says if the goalkeeper is the second last opponent and you're behind them, you'll be deemed as offside. So that's why
So the goalkeeper came and moved forward towards the offensive player, and at that point, the offensive player was ahead of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, basically. And there was
that's offside.
There was only one more player behind there. So that's why like people were like thrown off.
So essentially the goalkeeper can do that just to be a dick.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Like if I'm the goalkeeper and I see my defense is beat, then I'm just going to step out there and then it's going to be an offsides.
Yeah. So
that's a dumb rule.
Yeah. And what you said, like, yeah, that's what like so many people were confused about, because that's like to their understanding, that's like what offside is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So who's the defending champion that's going to defend their championship?
We got France defending their championships to big clubs, to big international teams. Sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about international, right? Talking about World Cup.
We got international teams like Spain, Germany, Brazil, England, and Argentina.
So those are the powerhouses, right?
Yeah. And one of my favorites, Portugal.
Oh man, Argentina's gonna win it, bro. Argentina's gonna win it, bro. That's my team, man. Argentina's my team. I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican, and Argentina's my team.
Hey, don't get me wrong. Argentina's one of the favorites.
Every year they're a favorite.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I mean, you got Messi and you got the rest of the gang that they just keep producing great soccer players over and over and over, and it doesn't, like Di Maria and the rest of the bunch that are there. Di Maria's like the old man on with the Messi now. I remember when they were kids. So it's they always keep producing, just like Brazil keeps producing great players. They just have a machine where you just turn out players. Doesn't matter. Hey, you're in the mountains, you're playing over there. Hey, bro, come down over here. We need some players. Yeah. So I mean, for me, it's always gonna be Argentina. If you want to go Portugal, I kind of know why you go for Portugal. I don't know. There's one guy.
Cristiano Ronaldo, that's my guy. Best player in the world. Oh, for me. Even though the controversy around him with Manchester United right now.
What's going on with Manchester United?
Well, it's like a whole different story. Being a Manchester United fan, like you hear all type of stuff, but especially this right now with like Ronaldo, it's like he like basically like just blatant out, just like spilled all like their secrets, or like on like stuff you're not supposed to say. Like he called like the club hasn't changed, and like they're like all turning his back on him. Like he basically called everybody a traitor in that club, kind of basically, like who's running the club, specifically the owners. And like the owners is just like a whole different thing, like we could talk about that in another episode.
Yeah, we definitely talk about that in a different episode. But at the same time, like, dude, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Right. They're the one paying you the millions and millions of dollars over here. So you know what? They can easily trade you to a crappy ass team, easily. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with like the stuff Cristiano Ronaldo was saying. But I mean, like I said, like we could talk about that in a different episode. It's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like we could go into that, but yeah.
All right, what some of the other soccer teams, some of the other countries that are on the radar that can make a little bit of noise, brother?
Well, nobody really talks about like Netherlands, Canada, Croatia, and I would maybe even say USA.
Really, the U.S.
Yeah,
you put in the U.S. and it can make a little bit of noise, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you don't really know what to expect, but like they did like beat like Mexico, which are like the CONCACAF giants. They beat them back to back in 2 consecutive like
man, that
finals.
doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit, man. That's just a little tournament here that no one really cares about, man. I know, I get it. I watch it, and everyone's so excited. Oh, El Clásico, the United States versus Mexico, and they're playing in Atlanta or they're playing in Estadio Azteca. It doesn't mean shit, bro. Both of those teams haven't won shit in forever, bro. And that's probably why they don't have that fan base that's diehard, just like, you know, I mean, Mexico does have a diehard fan base, but I'm saying like the U.S., it's growing, but I mean, at the end of the day, bro, like if you ain't Spain, you ain't France, you ain't, you know, Portugal, you ain't Brazil, you ain't Argentina, man, you ain't nobody, man. Until you win some World Cups, you ain't unless you win the World Cup or the Olympics, you ain't nobody, man. Show me what you can do. And the United States didn't even qualify for the Olympics last time.
Didn't even qualify for the World Cup the last time it happened.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You can't win a chip if you don't show up, man.
Right. And I think they should be using some of their more like young players, because I think that's like the basis of like what's gonna be like going on in the next few years. Like they're gonna be taking over that like role.
A lot of the U.S. players have aged out. I forgot the name. The guy that was in Seattle, Seattle. What's the fucking MLS team? Seattle. I should know this, but Sounders. Sounders. Yeah, the Sounders. The forward. I forgot his name. Like, again, this is when I used to have season tickets for the Chicago Fire. I used to know all these players, but all these guys have aged out since you know the last 2 Olympics, and we don't have a lot of known names on the U.S. team. You don't have like, what do we have? Landon Donovan and the kid from Seattle Sounders, and we had a bunch of good players, and they never did anything with it. So right now, I don't see the U.S. making it pretty far, but I think they make it out of the first round. So before we even get to that, let's talk about the different groups. Let's start with Group A, man. What do you got for Group A?
Group A, we have Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands. Of course, we already saw the Ecuador-Qatar game.
Yeah.
It was the first game of the tournament. Honestly, I'm going to give it to Netherlands taking the first place.
Yeah.
And then second, of course, Ecuador. I mean, Senegal, they could have made it. They had a good team. But I mean, Mane is like, I don't think he's 100%, or like I think he's out. I didn't double check on this, but I know he got hurt before the World Cup started.
Okay.
So, and that's like a core player to Senegal right now.
Yeah.
Especially for their attacking force. So.
And I think a lot of the problem is that the World Cup is taking place as there is ongoing seasons. These guys are still playing, and you know, they're either starting their season or whatever, or they're midway through their season, and then they got to shift over to the World Cup, and you know, a different dynamic, a different team, a different way of playing, especially with different players. So you got to build that chemistry, and if you don't know who you're playing with, that's a big deal. And then you have guys that you know, they could be in midseason form, but then they get hurt. And that's going to be a huge factor in this World Cup, that you're going to see a lot of big players either playing with nicks and you know, some kind of injury, or won't be playing because of when this is taking place. Also, you got to take into fact that the weather, it is extremely hot out there. So you look for dehydration, you're looking for cramping. A lot of these guys are not adapting to that, because they're getting there without a lot of time to adapt their bodies to. So you got Qatar, you have Ecuador, Senegal, Netherlands. I am going to agree with you with Netherlands and Ecuador fighting for 1 and 2. They should advance. You know, everybody's like, oh, Qatar, because they're a hosting company, hosting country, they should get far. And usually that is the fact. But I don't think, I mean, Qatar doesn't have a good team at all. They don't. They never had. They really don't. The only reason they're on the map is because they're hosting. So Senegal has always shown speed and pretty good defense, but I've never seen them score more than 2 goals a game. And then when they play anybody that's a powerhouse, they don't do anything. So look for Netherlands and Ecuador to come out of Group A. All right, let's switch over to Group B. What you got?
Gotcha. We have England, Iran, US, and Wales. Group B, honestly, I'm gonna give it to England. You know, they got some really good young players that play in the Premier League, which is very prestige at the moment. We got Phil Foden, of course, Jude Bellingham, Mason Mount, Bukayo Saka, and like they got the veteran player who Harry Kane. He's been killing in Premier League, even though he doesn't really win as many trophies with Spurs because you know it's Spurs. But I mean, I think it's important to have that veteran player, especially as an attacker. He's gonna be a crucial part of this team. But yeah, I have England taking the first, and I'm gonna give it to USA.
No,
even though Wales is a good team, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna give it to USA. I think they're both gonna come in with the hunger of like trying to fight for a spot for the round of 16, since they both missed out in 2018 of the World Cup. They weren't there. But I'm honestly gonna give it to US, even though like they haven't really shown me anything. I've been in those like 2 trophies that they beat Mexico in. But I mean, they do have some like all right players that can do some stuff, like Christian Pulisic, and who else do we got in there? We got Sergio Dest, we got Weston McKennie, you know, and the list goes on.
You know, I mean, I don't know anything about Wales. I really don't. I just know it's a small country in the UK, part of Scotland, Wales, and England, all that crap. That's just my extent of knowing of Wales. I never heard them of having a great team, of being competitive. They might have some teams like in Wales that do compete in the leagues, but I don't. And Iran, I mean, it's just I've never taken anything serious as a soccer team from Iran. I just never seen any of the teams compete in the last World Cup or even the Olympics. I've never seen them go any far. In the U.S., it's always like, are they going to be good? Are they going to show up? You know, do they have the hunger? Do they have the heart? And again, not knowing many of the players, you have a lot of under 25, under 26 players on the team. They got something to prove. They did it. They weren't there the last Olympics, the last World Cup. So you've got to show out. So England is the powerhouse in Group B, and I don't see anybody else taking out the U.S. for the second spot. I think the U.S. can literally be a point or two behind England. They won't upset England, but you know I still see them taking the number 2 spot.
Yeah, I mean Wales, they got some decent players like Gareth Bale, of course, very well-known player. I mean, who else do they got? They got a bunch of like Premier League players that are typically great, like when they're playing with their clubs. But
yeah, but we've seen great players not show up in the World Cup. Right. You know, it doesn't matter. It's again, these guys have not played together for a long time. They may know each other, but they haven't played together because they're playing on different teams, whether it is, you know, Premier League or whatever it may be, wherever they're at. You don't have that chemistry, and I don't think that, you know, a couple of weeks is enough for people to know each other's tendencies, where to be on the pitch. It's a big transition is what I want to say. It's not as easy as it looks. It's not, you know, FIFA 23. I'm going to put my all-star team on, you know, I'm going to build it and I'm going to whoop everybody's butt. It doesn't work like that, people. It just sure doesn't. Right. So, all right, let's break down Group C as we are, go ahead and break it down with Group C.
We got Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Honestly, I would say this is like one of the most interesting groups for me, especially because my team Mexico is in it, but also because Argentina. And I think it's gonna be like a really like good game, Mexico Argentina. It's gonna be a really important game for the
100%
for the group. I think it's gonna pull most of the attention, especially in that group. But I'm honestly gonna give it to Argentina taking first place.
Yep.
And then Mexico. I mean, of course, Argentina, they have Leo Messi, which is participating in his 5th World Cup, which is, you know, historical.
Ridiculous. 20 years, yeah.
Right. And then we got Angel Di Maria.
Yep.
I honestly say he's a very important player, but very like
underrated.
Underrated, and like nobody really gives him credit enough for what he does.
He's been carrying that team for the last 2 World Cups.
And especially in when they recently won the Copa America trophy, I think Di Maria was like very important right there.
Oh yeah.
And then of course we got Mexico, the CONCACAF Giants, and honestly, Mexico, they've been underachieving these past few years. Like they lost 2 consecutive titles to USA, like I've said before. But I mean, like I think like a big topic about this is like Tata Martino. Like he's like the main, like I would say main issue with Mexico at the moment. Like the Argentinian coach, he hasn't really like shown us anything these past few months.
What coach has shown you anything in Mexico? What coach?
You got a point. I mean, you got a point.
There's no. I'm being honest. Like this is why I stopped following Mexico. Like, yeah, I watch them, but I'm like, I'm not diehard Mexico when it comes to World Cup and the Olympics, just because they don't have the discipline. They play a different type of style when they're playing CONCACAF, and when they play the real tournaments, they play completely different. And they leave out a lot of young players for the big names who don't do anything. These guys are like way older, they're like 35. Like, oh, I'm gonna play him for 27 minutes, 30 minutes. Why, dude? He doesn't have that. Put him in on the bench and bring him in towards the end of the game so you can finish the game. You have a lot of that BS going on in Mexico.
Right. That's generally why I was mad, especially because he left out young Diego Lainez, which has really proven himself when he's come to play like international friendly games. Like he's been there, he's shown himself, and then we also got Santi Jimenez. Like he's been killing it in Europa League, and it's a tournament like right below the Champions League, so it's like out there. So I generally don't understand how he wouldn't pick like a top goal scorer and is doing well in like a tournament and a league in Europe, which I would think is very important. And then he also left out like a very like recognizable name. Like I think he would have been important, I guess. But I think Javier El Chicharito Hernandez, pardon that. But
yeah, he's been killing it in MLS, and that's not saying a lot because MLS is below every fucking league in the world. But it doesn't matter. The kid was on a national team. He played for the Olympics. He played on the World Cup. He's shown that he can be explosive and he can be a difference maker. Why not have this guy on there?
Right. I honestly don't understand why he didn't take Chicharito. Like, why would he take Funes Mori? Like, no offense, Funes Mori, he's a great player, but in the Liga MX, what I've seen him score is only like sometimes cheap goals. Don't get me wrong, guys, but I feel like Chicharito would have been more crucial, especially because of his experience, and he knows when to be explosive and whatnot.
Yeah, Chicharito, I remember seeing him, and he was like the young kid, and he's like, oh my God, we got Chicharito, and he's going to be explosive, and they put him out there, and it's like, they double-teamed him, and that was it. He couldn't do anything. And now that he's been, he's a veteran now of 15 years now, you're looking at this guy who's also adapted his game. He's like, okay, I don't need to be explosive enough. I know how to manage the game. I can ball control and delegate and pass this ball up. So that way, because I know these guys are double teaming me, I get rid of the ball. Boom, these guys are open. I can slide in and pick up the scraps. He understands now that he's older, that he doesn't have to do everything. And that comes with maturity. So why not bring this man up who has the pedigree, who has the experience, put him on the team.
Right. And then he brought up Jimenez. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Jimenez, especially because he played for my club, America. But like, since his injury, like in Premier League, like his level just been declining. And I mean, I understand that. I don't fault him. But like he even said it himself, like if I'm not 100%, I would rather give up my spot. Like
makes sense. That's a professional. Say
exactly like that, but he basically was saying that.
That's a professional.
It's right. He's a professional for saying that. Like, I think it's important to bring other players who are healthy instead of Jimenez. Like, I would have maybe sat down Jimenez for this World Cup. Like, honestly, I don't think he's ready. And like another like example of this would be like when Cristiano Ronaldo, like he was injured, but he played through it. Like, don't get me wrong.
I mean, that's different. That's like Michael 100%. Jordan playing through the flu game. Even 70% of Michael Jordan is better than the rest of the league. So when he's playing, he's going to make a difference, and he can always play decoy, even if he can't run or if he can't strike, he still can play decoy. So what about anybody on the Chivas, bro? Anybody on the Chivas?
I mean, we got Alexis Vega. I would say he's pretty important since Tecatito's not there. So I mean, I think he's pretty important.
Oh yeah, I gotta give him you a little shit, man. You gotta cheer for my team.
Honestly, Alexis Vega, he's good. what I've seen, he's proven himself in La Liga MX and in the international friendlies. So I think he's like gonna be like a very important key to Mexico's success in this World Cup.
What about Atlas?
Atlas, who do you got from Atlas?
I don't even know, man. I just know they're in my state, man. I know they're all part of Jalisco. That's all I know.
Yeah, I don't think they got anybody from, because most of the players I've seen they got was either from Tigres, from Monterrey, a little bit from America, and then a couple from Chivas, of course. I think, what was his name? El Piojo, I believe so.
That might be right. El Piojo.
Yeah, but I don't really think they got many players from Atlas, or even any. I mean, they got Jorge Sanchez, but he used to play for America, but now he plays over there in Europe. You got Guillermo Ochoa.
I mean, yeah, he's your goalie for the last 20 years. I bet he better be there.
Yeah, but I don't really think they got anybody else. I don't even think they got anybody from Atlas.
It's all good.
They got some from Cruz Azul, I think.
Of course, Cruz Azul's a good team.
Yeah, I don't think they got many.
Yeah, so I just know some of these teams. I don't watch a full Mexican soccer league all the time, but I just know like my friends are super duper into it. And, I hear it in passing. I pick up some stuff from there. So, my team is Las Chivas. And then I have a couple of friends that are Atlas and Los Pumas and all this and that. So I pick up a little bit here and there. So, I'm a little bit of a soccer head by osmosis. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more of your World Cup breakdown. We have Group D, E, and F, G. There's a lot of letters to go through. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey, what's up? This is Lex Cruz from Jungle AE Recording Studios and Illinois Media School, and you are now listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with Big Z and El Borrego. That's right, a special edition of the World Cup. We're going to break everything down, so welcome back. We broke a little bit down, but we didn't put our stamp on the last two groups. So let's look at these two groups, Group B and C, and put a bowl on those. We have England, Iran, USA, Wales, Senegal, Netherlands. All right, give me your three winners.
Of course, for Group A, we have, of course, Netherlands and Ecuador. Those two are going to qualify. And then we have England and the US passing. And then for Group C, I'm going to give it to Argentina and Mexico. All
right, so those are your winners. But looking at the games, we have, as this post tomorrow, we have England versus Iran, Senegal versus Netherlands, USA versus Wales. Who are your winners there?
Let me see. Give it to England for sure. They're obviously going to be Iran. And then
I got 3-1 England.
3-1 England?
Yeah. I think they put a hurting on Iran.
I want to say they're going to go either 2-0 or 3-0.
I think they let one go. But it's all right. All right, moving on. What do you got? Netherlands, Senegal?
I
think
I'm gonna give it to Netherlands.
Yeah, I think that's a 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah, I want to say 1-0 or 2-0.
And I think USA Wales is going to be a 1-goal difference. It might be 3-2, it might be 2-1, or 1-0. I think it's a 1-goal difference. It just depends on what team shows up for USA.
Right. Yeah. I think it's gonna go. I want to say USA, to be honest. Probably like 3-2, like you said, or 2-1.
Yeah, it's going to be a one goal. I think it's going to be a tighter game than most people expect. I think Wales is going to show up and try to put their stamp on what the world is seeing. All right, switching over to Group C, you got Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland, Denmark, Tunisia, France, and Australia. Let's start with the first and most popular team, the Argentinians. That's right. What do you think?
Argentina, obviously, they're going to win that. I want to say 2-0 or 3-0, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think it's a high-scoring game. I think they put up 3 to 4 goals on Saudi Arabia and put a hurting on everybody and let everybody know that they're here to dominate. Let's move over to Denmark, Tunisia.
I'm going to give it to Denmark, either 2-1 or either a tie, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think Denmark's gonna take it.
I think you're looking at a 1 goal difference again in this game. I think Denmark wins 1-0. It'll be a tight game. Again, I can see a tie, but I'm gonna go with Denmark on that one too. All right, we got France and Australia. You got the defending champs, and you got the Aussies. What do you think?
I also think France might get cold feet on the first game.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I do, because like there's like this whole like thing with the courage,
the hangover,
especially. Right? No, yeah, especially like since they recently won, like there's like this thing, like people say, like there's the curse of the World Cup, like whoever wins the next year they don't make it out of the group stage. I think they might get cold feet or not, but I think it would be either 2-1 France or I want to say 3-1, 2-1 or 3-1.
I was sneezing over here. I was coughing and sneezing over here. Sorry. I said I'm going to take the upset of Australia taking out France at a 2-1. Just because, like you said, they have the hangover. They have a lot of players, but I still see they have a lot of injuries as well. So I would go with Australia 2-1. And then our famous game, the game of Archer Avenue, Mexico versus Poland. Nobody will be working on Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon for that fact. Mexico versus Poland. How do you think this game shapes out?
Right. Honestly, I'm gonna give it to Mexico, to be honest.
Ooh.
It's good. I do say it's gonna be a tight game, especially because the two sides do like play very well and they played before.
Yep.
And of course, Poland, they have the very well-known Robert Lewandowski, which is an amazing striker, and I think he can really do some damage to Mexico. But I think Mexico will get the upper hand here and maybe win either 2-1 or 3-2, to be honest. It's going to be a tight game.
I think it's a tie, man. I think it's a tie. I think these two teams are equally matched, and they have the equal amount of power and defense. I think that they're just so evenly matched for me. I don't see somebody coming out on top. So I do see a tie coming out of this. So just to break it down again, we talked about Group C. Who is your winner coming out of Group C, first and second place?
First and second place, of course, I'm going to give it to Argentina and then Mexico. Group C.
Ooh, you're saying Mexico is going to beat out France for the second spot. I'm sorry. That's Group D. My bad. That's Group D.
Nah, you're
my bad. So we're talking about Argentina and Mexico for Group C. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Argentina's the favorite to win. Argentina's one of the favorites to win the World Cup. So obviously I'm going to give them the first place.
Right.
Spot.
Right.
And then Mexico, they haven't like really like I wouldn't say they've been doing so well particularly. So I'm going to give them second place, even though Poland is a great team.
Yeah. All right, Group D. We got Group D. Who's coming out of Group D?
I want to say for sure France and Denmark.
Yeah.
I don't know how they end up like standing, but I will say Denmark and France, and then Australia for sure is going to get third place, and then Tunisia fourth place.
Yeah, I agree with that. You don't know which team is going to show up, either Denmark or France. You don't know who's going to deal with the injuries the best. But I see Denmark last World Cup, and they dominated very well. And then they ran into a buzzsaw. But like you said, France is that team that's got that hangover, and they gotta shake that off. So right. I do see them too winning 1 and 2. And then we got to move on to the next grouping, which is Group E. We have Spain, Costa Rica, Alemania, and Japan. So Alemania is Germany, people. Come on, get with it. Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. This is probably one of the tightest groups.
Right. obviously, I'm gonna give it to Germany. And who else will I give it to? I want to say second place will be taken by Spain for sure. I mean, Germany, they do have some great players like Kai Havertz, which has been doing amazing for international games. He scored 21 goals and assists in his last 22 games with Germany.
Wow.
Which is pretty amazing. And of course, they also have Thomas Muller. They got Jamal Musiala, Antonio Rudiger, and Leroy Sané, which all great players. And speed, especially from Sané. And of course, they got the returning man who scored the final goal in the 2014 final, Mario Götze. I think you probably remember him, don't you? He scored that last goal. But Spain, of course, they got some young players who have been doing well with their clubs. We got Gavi, Ansu Fati, Nico Williams, and Pedri, all great players. And in third, Costa Rica, and then followed by Japan. Honestly, I might be wrong about Japan getting fourth.
Japan is a sleeper, man. Japan is a sleeper. They play tough and they play dirty, man. Every time Japan's in there, man, they're fighting for their lives and they're knocking people down. I don't think they get enough respect that they should. I really think it's going to be a tighter race. I do see everybody beating up on each other. I think everyone's going to take a loss from each other, and it's going to come down to the last couple of games to determine who's going to be 1 and 2. I think everyone's going to have a chance. This is going to be the tightest race in the groups, and I think Germany comes out on top with Spain as second, but Japan and Costa Rica are no joke. Yeah, so don't take them lightly. So, all right, let's move on to Group F. We have Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia.
For Group F, obviously I'm gonna give it to Belgium, even though they haven't shown me much, but they do have some great players. They got Kevin De Bruyne, which is an amazing midfielder in the Premier League. Of course, he plays for Manchester City. We got Yannick Carrasco, Romelu Lukaku, an amazing striker, and then we got Courtois, which is an amazing goalkeeper playing for Real Madrid. And we got Leandro Trossard, who has had an amazing season for Brighton so far. And I want to give second place to Canada.
Wow.
They are an amazing international team. So of course they got Alphonso Davies, which, don't get me wrong, the man's amazing. And then we got Jonathan David, which is a young buck who has scored 12 goals and assists in 15 games, played for Ligue 1 Lille, and is also part, of course, the Canadian side. So we'll see what they bring. I do think for Canada, the key thing will be the young players.
Wow, I don't see Canada doing that, man. I really don't. No, I got Canada. I got Belgium and Croatia, man. I don't see Canada being one of those tough teams, man. They're too nice, man. They're too nice. I don't know. Canadians are too nice, man. I don't see that fight. I mean, when it comes to hockey, they got that down, but soccer, I don't think so, man. I see Croatia creeping up on them.
Yeah, I mean, Canada is. I honestly think they can do something. So many people don't think they can, but I think they will. I mean, we'll see. But I mean, Croatia is an amazing international team as well. They got Luka Modric, of course, some amazing midfielders. So we'll see how that goes. I want to say Belgium for sure. They'll get first place, and then Canada and Croatia. That's going to be a tight one, though. But I want to give it to Canada, to be honest. But I mean, Croatia did play.
All right, that's all right.
Amazing.
It's on record, bro. It's on record at this point. So if you're wrong, you're wrong, bro. It's all good. I'll call you out on it. All right, let's move on to the last two groups. We have Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Obviously, you're looking at Brazil, and for me, second place will be Switzerland.
I gotta agree with you on this one. Even though Serbia, I mean, they've been playing pretty good.
They are good, but I still think Switzerland takes it.
Brazil, of course, they're gonna take first place because they have young players like Anthony, who plays for Manchester United. We got Vinicius Jr. and amazing striker Neymar. We got Alisson, like many like different players that I think are gonna be like important to the Brazil squad. And I think they're honestly Brazil's like the top favorite to win the World Cup this year. So I will give them the first place, and then second place Switzerland. They do have an amazing team. But I will say it might be like a close run. Like it's gonna be like a neck and neck competition in this group for Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon.
Yeah, I mean this is one of those groups that's gonna be up in the air. I mean, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. Cameroon, I don't think has the staying power. Serbia, I think we're run out of gas, and then Switzerland's been there every year, just hasn't been able to get over the hump. And then you have Brazil, the big dog in that group. I think Brazil might have one game as a letdown where they might not take somebody as serious, but I still see Brazil and Switzerland coming up on top in Group G. All right, last but not least, we have Group H. Yes, we're going down the alphabet, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, that is H. And it has Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. For myself, you know what? I'm going to pick a sleeper. I got Portugal taking second place with South Korea taking first.
Really? Okay.
Hey, man, you got to pick some spoilers to win some money, buddy.
Right. But I honestly think I'm going to go with Portugal first place and Uruguay coming second place.
Okay.
I mean, this is going to be an interesting game, between these two giants. Like they played before, especially as some may remember in the 2018 World Cup, they played in the round of 16 and Uruguay, of course, they came on top in extra time. So I think this is definitely going to be an interesting group when it comes to like Portugal and Uruguay. And I think also Ghana and Uruguay, like I don't think many people remember, but this was in 2010 in the quarterfinals when Luis Suarez used his hand to stop his shot on the goal in the last minute of the second half. And it led towards a penalty for Ghana, and then they eventually missed it and they went to PKs where Ghana eventually lost. So this is going to be an interesting game, Ghana and Uruguay. But I mean, Portugal, they do have some very amazing players. Rafael Leao, who is a young 23-year-old left wing forward who plays for AC Milan and is part, of course, the Portugal squad. And then we got João Cancelo, Otavio, Bernardo Silva, and so on. And then Uruguay, of course, they have the amazing leadership of Luis Suarez and veteran player Edinson Cavani. So I do think this is going to be an interesting group, but Portugal and Uruguay for sure.
Ooh, Portugal and Uruguay. All right. I'm gonna pick the sleeper with South Korea. I mean, hey man, you're not gonna win them all, and you might as well throw a sleeper in there. Yeah, we got that on the thing. So. And you know what, we're going to be on multiple times and get this podcast turned around as soon as possible. As soon as we record, we're going to put that out there for you people to listen to. So stay tuned. We're going to keep talking about soccer. We're going to keep talking shit to each other because, we're on opposite sides. He's over there and being America. I'm over Chivas. I'm Argentina. He's Portugal. We're going to talk shit about each other. It's all good, man. But one thing is that the World Cup comes every 4 years, and one thing is for sure, that people come together to watch the world's game. And tell you the truth right now, I'm super excited about soccer. And there's 2 times I watch soccer, and it's going to be the Olympics and the World Cup. And for me, this is an exciting time to watch soccer. And if you're not into soccer, get into it. Go join. Go one of those soccer balls. And I'll tell you right now, as soon as you go, you're going to be hooked because it is nonstop action. It is nonstop cheering. And these people are fanatics, man. All right, El Borrego, where can they find you on social media, brother?
On social media, of course, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is, let me just pop it out for y'all. The boy underscore Johnny7. Sorry, it's very complicated. Or you guys can also find me on Facebook. My name is Johnny Vega. If you guys want to go add me or something, of course. And I'm gonna just throw some little last thoughts for y'all.
For sure.
The winner, of course, is gonna be Brazil. They're gonna win the whole thing. I honestly think Brazil is gonna win the whole thing. I mean, it's interesting.
I don't know what you're smoking, but you might as well pass that over here, bro.
And then runner-ups, we got Portugal and Argentina, which honestly think Argentina is definitely a runner-up. I think, but Portugal as well because of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And then
someone's swinging on somebody's. You know what?
And then the player that's going to score the most goals, I think it's either going to be Mbappe or Neymar. Or, of course, Mbappe, amazing player, but big ego. And then Neymar, of course, he has Brazil, which they're all fast-paced. So, and especially the group they're in. And underachievers, for sure, Belgium. I think they might not make it past around the 16 or even there. But, they will make it there, but they probably won't make it out of the round of 16. And then overachievers, Portugal. I think they'll make it far in the tournament. And those are my last thoughts for y'all.
Man, you must be smoking good stuff over there. I'm gonna tell you right now that you picked up some good stuff at the dispensary, because there's no way Brazil wins this, nor Portugal. I mean, I don't know what you're smoking over there, but it's gonna be Argentina. That's right, Argentina, all the way, brother.
We'll see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me on Instagram at BigZ_606 Media, or follow us on 606 Media on Instagram as well. So 606_Media_group. Follow us there. We're going to be talking shit. We're going to be talking about football. I love soccer. I love football. And we're going to talk about this for, the next month and a half. We'll see how far we can keep doing this. So, all right, y'all, everybody, thank you for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your official shirts now. Shout outs to our newest show in the 606 lineup, the No Water on the Weekend with Steven and Sean, a pop culture forward podcast that dabbles in funny trivia, film, television, music, and Chicago-centric news and happenings. New episode every single Monday. The Bulls are back. That means that the 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Shy Native Entertainment present the All Net Podcast. Make sure to check out the All Net Podcast with Mike Logic and Ideal after every Bulls game for all the breakdown and analysis. So we have a lot of shows, a lot of different people, and we want to highlight all of them. So thank you all, you guys, for the 606 Media family. Lastly, shout out to Ronesh, Panic, and Serious Beats, and custom made for the beats we're playing on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for your moment merch and gear. So check us out on social media, True Shy Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, IG, and Spotify. Reach out to us on an email. We want to hear from you. Reach us at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, y'all, for El Borrego, this is Big Z. We'll see you next time for some more football.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth.
Loverboy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos.
Show's over.